Hi, my name is Jordan Kohanim. I teach at Milton High School. I teach language arts, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how different things are going to look in the fall. I think one of the most important things and the biggest changes that we're going to see across the board that are going to benefit everybody, students, parents, teachers, it's going to make us all a lot more comfortable is the fact that we have one overall system that we're using to communicate to students, and that's Microsoft Teams. I know talking to my students last year, at the end of the year, there were just teachers were cobbling everything together as best we possibly could. I used Google Meet, some teachers used MS Teams, some teachers used other things. Having one platform for everyone to communicate is going to make an absolute huge difference in kind of the headache that came along with it. There's also the aspect of being able to see our students all at the same time, being able to communicate to them real time. It'll also help with accountability. So we'll be able to have sort of like a classroom setting. We'll be able to see our students as we're communicating to them, which is really important as a teacher because you want to be able to see their recognition as to whether or not they're understanding things. And you can stop and sort of reassess and say, okay, let's go back and take a look at this. So I think that's going to be a huge difference, and it's going to make things a lot easier for everyone across the board. We're also going to have access to our classrooms. So last year in March, I was in my home office and, I'd be in the middle of talking to a student and like my cat would crawl across my desk and, that distracts everybody, including me. So being at school now, I've got my whiteboard over here. And what's really cool is I can actually kind of unplug everything and move around my classroom, which is super cool. So I can actually walk around my room and I have access to my whiteboard. I've got, all of my printers and my desks and everything. So that's really fun. And I think that it's going to help the students feel that this is much more school-like and it's not as weird. Like it's still weird, but it's not as weird. So I'm excited. I know that there were some problems in the fall, and I'm not saying that everything's going to be 100%, because we are definitely doing the best we can, but it's kind of like trying to take a sip of water from a fire hose. But I think it's going to be a lot better, and I'm super excited to finally see my kids again. I've missed my kids so much, so I'm really glad to be a part of this, and I'm really glad that this is the avenue that we're going with.